Hi, this is Yvonne McNeary with Central Kentucky Television, and I'm here today with Stanley Gaddy, who is the commander of the American Legion post here in Lebanon, Marion County. And I also have Roger Milburn, who is the adjutant. Welcome, gentlemen.
Glad to be here.
All right. And Stanley, today you're going to give us some information on how to successfully dispose of an American flag.
Okay, now that's one reason. June 14th, we had a flag disposal ceremony out at the fairgrounds, and it was to educate the public on the proper way to dispose of a torn, tattered, or worn flag. And the military department, the only approved methods are to burn or cut and shred. And when you burn it, you have to collect the ashes and make a little casket and bury it in the ground, and say the Pledge of Allegiance or prayer over it, and bury it in a respectful manner. And if you don't burn it, you shred it and put it in a box and bury it in the same way. And that's the only approved method that the Department of the Army recommends. Now the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts and the VFW and the American Legion and other organizations, they have a ceremony of their own, which is basically the same thing, but it's all a little different. And the proper means is burial and burn is the military approved way. Now we wanted to educate the public out there, and we was a little short on the publicity, getting the word out. Even at that, what we have out there, about 20 people out there, which I thought was a pretty good crowd with the little publicity we had. And we did a good thing out there, but we need more publicity. We're going to plan on doing it again next year, and we're going to get more publicity and make a little better showing of it. And the main objective, like I said, was for education of the public, because I've heard all kinds of crazy ideas how you're supposed to get rid of the flag. You wouldn't believe the tales, you know. and we just wanted to demonstrate the proper way, the respectful way, and to dispose of a flag.
Okay. Now, for those people who are just joining us and who may have missed it, why don't you give us those details one more time, how it's to be disposed of?
Okay. The approved method by the Department of the Army is burn and bury the ashes. When you burn them, you don't have to take the flag anywhere and do it. You can do it, have a privacy of your, say, somewhere on your behind your house or whatnot, you know, as long as it's done in a respectful, reverent manner. And you can burn it, build a little fire on the ground, put it in there, and you can say the Pledge of Allegiance over it and a prayer. And if you're military, you give it the military salute. If you're a civilian, well, the salute is to hold your hand over your heart and say the Pledge of Allegiance or the prayer, and burn it, collect the ashes, and put it in a hole, preferably in an area that's not trodden all over, where it will be reverent and respectfully treated. And I talked to John Thomas at the City Hall, and when I get the ashes collected and put in the little makeshift coffin that I'm going to make up, he's going to try to find a place where we can bury it out at the park and have a brass plate put over it, so it will be, you know, treated a respectful spot, and then give it the respect that the American flag should and deserves.
Okay, and you'll let us know when it's coming up, so that we can give you the publicity that you need.
We're going to try to have a whole lot better publicity and whatnot next time, and contact you people on the radio and the newspaper and anybody else we can get out there. We're going to try to do it better next year.
Okay. Okay, we look forward to that. And this is all this information is coming to us from the American Legion,
Right.
and I know that you guys are also involved with the VFW here in town.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about the VFW.
The VFW. Well, the VFW, about the only difference between the VFW and the American Legion is their goals are the same. Work with the community, help community projects, work with the students at school, and primarily help veterans that have needs or issues that they have trouble getting resolved. We try to help them with their problems and help them to get their issues resolved. But the biggest difference between the VFW and the American Legion is the VFW, Veterans of Foreign Wars. That means that they fought in a war in a foreign land somewhere. And the American Legion were people that joined the military or were drafted, whatever the case be, but everybody doesn't get sent overseas, and they had stateside duty that they, stateside duty is just as important as overseas. We have to take care of things here at home.
Right.
So we need people to stay here in this country and take care of the needs here. But that's basically the difference between the American Legion and the VFW. The VFW, like I said, Veterans of Foreign Wars, they go overseas and fight wars. And the American Legion are people that drew a stateside assignment, and they had to stay stateside and take care of the needs. We have a whole army of people shipping supplies and ammo and food and anything that you could imagine. Somebody's got to get it over. Well, it's got to start here. So that's what their primary duty is.
Okay. Well, listen, if one of our viewers out there is interested in getting involved with either the American Legion or the VFW, how can they contact you guys?
Well, I don't know. The American Legion has recently moved to the Heritage Center, which is the old courthouse in Lebanon, and we're just getting moved in. But Roger is available phone, and I am available phone, and we have business cards and letters that we put out, and they can call us, Roger or myself, at any time. And
can I have your number?
Sure. My phone number is 270-692-8890.
And yours, Roger?
And my number is 859-805-0990.
All right, then.
And I might add this. We're in the process of, at our post, the American Legion post, getting a receptacle for flag disposal, where people will have a known drop point where they can bring them in there and put them in a container, and we will dispose of it for them.
Okay.
And I'll iterate on that a little bit. The American Legion, the VFW, the police department, fire department, and the National Cemetery will also take worn, dirty, or tattered flags. A lot of people don't know that those places will take them, but there's several distribution points around town where they can take their flags, and they will be disposed of in a proper, respectful manner. And like I said, we will soon have a receptacle at the American Legion post where they can just bring it in there. The museum doors are open, I think, now from 10 to 2 in the afternoon, and they can just bring them in there and drop them in there, and we'll take it from there.
All right. Okay. What wars were you guys involved in? Roger, can we start with you?
I was in Desert Storm. I joined the National Guard in 1966, and the Guard unit in Bardstown was mobilized in '68, and we came real close to being mobilized. But I mobilized in December of '90 with Desert Storm, and served with the unit in Springfield. 5 units. We went overseas, and fortunately that war was not very long. And that's why I hadn't deployed. I'd been overseas a couple other times, but not during combat zone.
Okay. Where other places have you been?
I got to serve in Ecuador. We built some schools in Ecuador and Panama, and I got to trip to Japan. So I've got to visit a few places. The military's been very good to me.
Okay.
But I spent several years. I spent over 43 years in the military.
Wow! Congratulations.
So, yeah, well, thank you.
Yes,
Thank
indeed. And
My
you,
privilege.
Stanley?
I joined the United States Air Force 19th day of December of 1967, and went through basic and my technical training. And I was stationed at Charleston, South Carolina for a few months, and I went to Vietnam. And I spent 12 months in Vietnam. And I come back, was stationed at Minot, North Dakota for, I don't know, 6 or 8 months, and they called me to go back to Vietnam. So I spent 2 tours in Vietnam. And been to, well, I was stationed in Vietnam. I did special assignment out of Thailand, and some of the other places that we flew over I'm not supposed to talk about, but
Okay.
they never happened, but everybody knows they did.
Well, you know, I was going to ask you about that Minot, North Dakota. It was cold up there, wasn't
Oh
it?
yeah, that was a,
You went from one extreme to the other,
I
didn't
put
you?
in for every warm climate that I could imagine, and they sent me to the coldest place in the United States. And I got up there, I think it was the 20th of December, and it was about 18 inches of snow on the ground, and I don't know how many minus below zero it was. I like to froze to death.
Especially coming from Vietnam.
Oh yeah, that's why I put in a warm climate,
Yeah.
you know, but it was 120 degrees when I left over there in the shade.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I like to tell them where you meet, if I could.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, the VFW meets the second Tuesday of the month at the VFW post, and that's right behind Don Franklin's car dealership. We eat at 6:30 and we meet at 7. And the American Legion meets the third Tuesday of the month, eat at 6:30 and meet at 7. And so we get to talk to old veterans, and it's a numbers game. Stanley and I got to make a trip to Washington D.C. in March. The first we call Storm the Hill. VFW went up there, and we got to talk to the Senator Mitch McConnell and Rand Paul and our legislators. We spent about 3 days up there, and we talked to them. Our national commander Brian Duffy is from Louisville, and he spoke to the committee up there at Veterans Affairs, and we're trying to upgrade the VA hospitals and care for the veterans. So we're very involved, and we just it's a numbers game. People say, what do you do for our veterans? Well, we can do a lot nationally, but we can do it here locally if somebody lets us know. So yeah, we're here to serve our veterans.
What other kind of programs are you doing here?
Well, I volunteer and drive the VA van
Okay.
once a month to the VA hospital, but that's what we're trying to get involved. The American Legion's been here operation for a long time, and just all our veterans are getting old.
Yeah.
We can't get the young ones in. The young ones coming from Iraq right now.
So getting the participation of the younger ones is a chore right now.
Yeah.
Well, we're Roger and I, we're new, and we're learning about all kinds of opportunities that the VFW and the American Legion both offer to the school students of this area. And there's a lot of opportunity for these kids. And this one right off the top of my head is an oratorial type competition. And if a student can win that, about $15,000-$18,000, something like that student can win toward a scholarship or something. And there's a lot of programs, and Roger and I just getting in that. We're going to try to get involved in the schools out here this year and get things going. And one other thing I may mention, had the hospice contact us a while back, and they wanted volunteers to work with veterans once they're put on the hospice list. And we have volunteers for that, and a couple of us have already been cleared. You got to get blood work and all kinds of red tape goes, all that stuff. So we got a couple ready to go, and hopefully, we've never done anything like that. Hopefully it'll be a good experience. But there again, we'll be helping the veterans out.
Okay.
And a lot of our members, VFW and American Legion, are members of the Marion County Honor Guard.
Yeah.
And they participate in that. A lot of our members do that also.
Okay. Well, you guys will keep us posted, right, for any of the new things that come about,
Yes, ma'am.
and things that you get involved with. We'd be glad to share it with the community.
Okay.
All right.
We'll do it.
All right. Well, I'd like to thank you both for being here with me today.
Thank you.
This has been Yvonne McNary.
Thank you for inviting us out.
You're very welcome. This has been Yvonne McNary for Central Kentucky Television. Thank you, guys.
Okay.